How are you? How you
I'm
doing?
very cold. I'm good.
You're cold? I know it's
Very
cold.
good. An ugly day today.
Yeah. It
Uh,
actually, you guys
huh?
okay with like this? I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, I just want to say thank you for taking time to do this. I had
Oh,
seen your post and pictures, and I just kind of read a little bit. I was like, oh, I definitely want to interview her. So we'll get to that shortly. So I just kind of wanted to, briefly ask you a few questions, whatever you're not comfortable with, you don't have to share. But this is the first time I'm ever actually talking to you, so I don't really know anything about you. Usually,
yeah.
everyone else that I've interviewed, I kind of know something about them. So I'll ask a few questions and a little bit about your past, and then we'll get into what happened and everything. So, if you could just let us know a little bit about yourself, so simple like where you from, how long you been a Christian, do you have any kids, are you married, do you work, a little bit about your church, just briefly.
Okay, sure. So my name is Valerie and I am 27 years old. I am not married. I have one daughter. Um, and I go to Chapel of Change in Paramount.
Oh, okay, never mind. Cool.
Yes.
Okay. Now, how long you been a believer?
Um, Probably since the age of well, I always believed in Jesus and God, but actually serving God for 6 years, going on 7 years.
Okay. Do you work?
Yes,
Oh,
actually work from home.
all right. Whoa. Cool, 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 cool. Okay. And you said one daughter, right?
Yeah, I have one daughter.
One daughter. Awesome, awesome. All right. So take us back to your childhood. Did you have any brothers and sisters? Where did you grow up? Were both your parents in the home? How was your childhood?
Yeah, so I have four siblings. I have a sister and three brothers, and I both my parents are married and lived in household of both.
Okay, see. Okay. Were you raised in Christianity? Are your parents
No,
believers? Okay.
I was raised as a Catholic.
Oh, okay, same here. Okay, was Catholic. Okay, are they believers now, or what about your siblings?
Oh yes, yeah, we're all believers. Just we just praying for one of my brothers to come to the Lord. But yeah, that's about it. All of us are actually in church.
Oh, awesome. You guys all go to the same church?
Yes.
Oh, wow. So if you don't mind me, how did your parents get out of Catholicism?
I'm sorry.
How did your parents? Because you said you guys were raised Roman Catholic. How did your parents get out of that?
Oh, so my mom actually my brother, the one that's not actually saved right now, he actually brought us to a church called Praise Chapel, and he was in a home at the time, and he invited us there, and so ever since that we actually got saved there, and we never left.
Okay, awesome, awesome. So tell me, did you guys get along well growing up?
Yeah.
Yeah, you guys
Hmm.
were a big
Yeah.
happy family. No, was there anything in your childhood that affected you growing up?
Um, I'm sure. Actually, no,
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 think of anything?
no,
Okay.
not
Tell
really.
me. Uh-huh. Okay. Tell me about your teenage years. How were they? Did you act out, rebellious?
Yeah, teenage years. I was actually well, teenagers. What? How old? Like
13,
12
19.
through 19. Yeah. So like 17, 18, 19. I actually was partying, drinking, smoking, and doing pills.
Okay. Okay. So what would you say got you? Because you said you grew up in a religious home. Would you say it was peer pressure, or did you just slowly start falling off away from God, or what would you think got you to start doing that those few years?
Oh, just backslid from God.
Just back
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah.
You
Just
weren't going
back.
to church or nothing. You just
No,
would you
I
say
actually. Yeah. So actually, I still went to church, but I wasn't serving as I used to. I was just actually just smoking weed and drinking and stuff like that. So backslid away and just slowly started to leave, fall away from God. Yeah.
Okay. And then which eventually led to what I saw in your post, right? Is that what's ultimately brought you back 100% to God, right?
Mhm.
Okay, so this is the what I've been wanting to hear. So if you can tell us like what led up to it, what happened, and then how that changed your life to put you where you're at now.
Okay. So I'll just start off by saying, all the glory goes to God. So everybody knows that it's not a testimony just to brag about or to get attention from. It's actually something that I want to share that God actually did and can do for other people. Um, so on August 4th, 2016, I was at a park drinking with my sister, some cousins, um, and I was under the influence. Like I believe I was probably on some pills and stuff like that. And we were all drinking, and I had ended up getting stabbed by a guy in a wheelchair that was near me. Actually, I walked up to a table that we were all chilling at, drinking and stuff like that, and everybody wasn't there. They had left to go get another bottle. And when I went back to the table, because I had left the house, I had left to the, I had left the park to go to my house, which was a couple blocks away from the park, probably like 8 houses down. And when I left the park to go and talk to my mom, I had came back and no one was there yet. So there was only a guy in a wheelchair and another guy on the other side of the bench. So when I walked up to the table, I was like, I told them like, where's everybody at? And immediately when I said that, the guy in the wheelchair, he reached his arm over and stabbed me. And so it wasn't for any reason. It was just honestly, he probably felt like he wanted to. I didn't harm the guy or anything like that or nothing, like that. But when he stabbed me hitting my heart and my lung. I got stabbed 4 inches deep inside my heart. And so I was punctured in my heart and lung. As soon as I realized that I got stabbed, I had to go. I stood there for a little bit, and when I stood there, I realized I was stabbed, and I walked back home. When I walked back, go ahead. Sorry.
Okay, so did you know these two guys over there?
So I knew one of them, but the other guy was just a guy that used to just roam around in a wheelchair,
Were they
kind of
gang
like a,
members?
huh?
Do you know if they were gang members?
No, they weren't gang members. No,
Okay.
he was just he was, I wouldn't say he was like a homeless guy, I guess, like not homeless, but it was always in the streets acting homeless.
Do you know if
And
he was drunk or high around that time?
probably, yeah.
But that's crazy. You just ask, hey, where's everybody at? And all of a sudden, just bam.
Yeah, he all I see was him like reach. Oh, I don't know if you can see, but he reached over, like from his left arm, he reached and he stabbed me and he hit my main artery to my heart, and then it actually punctured my lung. But so yeah, he had stabbed me, and I walked all the way back home and I yelled my mom's name. I told her, Mom, I grabbed. And when I said that, she thought, because I wasn't bleeding outside, I was bleeding more inside.
Okay.
So I had no blood really on my hand, just a little. I remember like the palm of my hand.
Okay.
And um, my mom ran outside, her and my older brother, and they went to go get the guy, and they left me there on my front lawn. When I was standing there, I had the opportunity to ask for forgiveness of my sins, because I felt I was done and I knew I was gonna die, just the way I felt. And so, um, as I stood on that grass, standing up, holding my left breast, I was just praying to God and asking Him to forgive me of my sins. I was asking Him to please do not let me go to the pit of hell. Actually, I knew that's where I was going, but I was asking for him to forgive me. So I, for mercy, right? Um, so after that, I ended up blacking out, and I remember after I did walk back all the way to the park, and I collapsed and died on a big rock where the park, where my mom and my brother were, and uh, my mom immediately started doing CPR on me, giving me, oxygen from mouth to mouth, and I wouldn't come back. Ambulance police came, pronounced me dead, and when they took me on the ambulance, they actually worked on me. Instead of the thing I want to give glory to God too is that instead of me leaving me there dead and putting me, blanket and saying, that's it, she's dead, they actually allowed, they actually took me in the ambulance to St. Francis and still try to work on me, and I died again. Then at the surgery table, I died again, and they tried everything they can do, but just a simple massage to my heart is what brought me back to life. Um, and I know for a fact that was all God, because everything you're trying to do in the hospital is nothing's working, but just a massage to my heart, I came back alive. And
Wow.
the doctors and everybody were very amazed. They did put in the report that, you know what, I'm gonna actually try to put, oh, actually you guys seen it already on here, I believe. It's of me in the hospital. Do you have me on TikTok? I'm sorry.
No, this is Zoom. It's not
No,
TikTok. Oh, do I
no,
have
no,
you on
no,
TikTok?
yeah.
I don't remember. I think I might have followed you. I just can't remember.
Okay.
I should have you on.
Okay, well, I should have I told you to put a picture or something to see and have everybody visualize it. But um, anyway, actually, so that happened, and as time I got, healed so fast. The doctors were very amazed. There was like no, when I left the hospital, there wasn't any, like, how when you get an ultrasound to see how everything's doing and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, I got it on my heart, and there was actually no puncture to my heart. Didn't see no scar or nothing there or like anything. Um, Imani, Imani, quiet. Sorry. Um, so yeah, and that's my testimony, and there's a lot more to it, but long, long, long. Maybe we could do a part two regarding this.
How
Uh,
how long were you in the hospital?
I was in the hospital for 15 days. Um, and when I left the hospital, that is when the anxiety attacks came. The enemy was not happy. I remember once I left the hospital, it was like I was brand new, right? It was like if I was a newborn. I was like afraid to walk, like I was afraid to do everything, just like new, right? And my my mom, my grandma, and my sister, they took me to go eat right after at the Uno Hawaiian place,
Yeah.
and that was my first time experiencing anxiety. It felt like I was gonna die. My heart was racing again. It felt like I was gonna die again. My heart was racing. I couldn't even eat. I was just like, I don't know if you ever experienced anxiety, but it's a horrible feeling, especially if you're you had just got. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, go ahead. No, I'm listening.
Yeah, especially if you had just got, like out the hospital regarding like your heart injury to your heart, and then you just feel your heart pumping and you feel like you're gonna die once again. It was crazy because anxiety never, like, I never knew what anxiety was, and just to feel that at that moment, it just hit me, and I was like, wow, like I had to leave. I had to get calmed down. My heart was up, which it wasn't supposed to be. It was probably like 150, and it was just crazy, very crazy. But
Yeah,
that
this
just
was
shows people.
26. I'm sorry, 2016, 7?
2016,
Oh,
yes,
16. So it's
yes,
about 6, 7 years ago. Okay. So
yeah,
what after that, after all that happened, so we get
yeah,
about it's been about 6, 7 years.
yeah.
Tell us what have you done to grow and where are you at now compared to where you were at right before you got stabbed? Like what are you doing different after that? And where is your walk with God compared to where it was at that time? And what are you doing now to not to fall back to what you were doing back then? What changed
My
ultimately?
life, guys. Um, so right now, what's completely different is that I'm serving God 100%. Um, I no longer am in the world. Um, Jesus, honestly, to be honest with you, during the 7 years, I didn't go back to any like sin or anything like that. Well, I didn't go back to drugs or partying, but I did fall back. I fell into lust, and then I had my daughter. Well, I had a boyfriend, which I was engaged with, and um, I had a kid without marriage, and that's what I'm saying. I fell back into sin, but other than that, I got back up, and she's a blessing as well. I got back up, and ever since that, I've been serving God 100%, and He's changed my life completely. I believe I'm delivered from anxiety. I have no heart complications. Um, but only thing I have to say is I do forget a lot. So can you repeat yourself? What was the question? I'm sorry.
No, like what do you what okay, so when you say you're serving God, like what are you doing? Are you heavily involved in church?
Yeah.
Are
So
you
right
just
now,
I mean, are you doing the constant Bible reading, praying? Like what are you
yeah,
doing to feed your soul with the word of God? Like, because we have to walk this way every single day. If not, we're gonna fall back. So
yeah, of course.
I'm just kind of I'm trying to, we want to know what is it that you're doing that's keeping you strong, that's keeping you from going back to your old ways.
Yeah, of course. So right now, I'm actually in my word all the time. Worship is one of the biggest things besides, the word, that I'm really into as well, and just staying connected with the church and the young adults, and I'm actually going around churches right now and saying my testimony, sharing what God has done, and like that. Actually, tomorrow I do go to my church and I share my testimony again. Um, but yeah, I just been giving God the glory for now. Um, Actually, too, I have been to schools, juveniles, and shared my testimony as well. So basically, I'm just giving God the glory and just staying focused by staying in His Word, worship, and being surrounded by believers.
And that's the key right there is who we hang around with, our friends, because they can negatively influence to fall back. So
True,
that's very
very
important. It's very important to have brothers and sisters to be there to support you and fellowship with, because once we start hanging out with our worldly friends, we can backslid and we can start doing, and even like dating. If we start trying to date people who are not Christian, you already
yeah.
know that's going to go downward.
That
So that I mean, I'll be honest, that's been the toughest part even for me. I've had to stay alone for almost 2 years just because there's not can't really find nothing good out there. So
Yeah, but to be honest, it's better to stay single than to be distracted by someone else that other than God, you know? That's something that too I want to testify on is that when you're single, you pay attention more to God and you focus more on Him than a relationship. You know what I'm saying?
yeah. Yeah, no, I
So
agree. I agree. And again, especially if it's an unequally yoked relationship, that's
yeah,
definitely going to happen. But I also see the benefits of having a strong partner to
yeah, of
encourage you,
course.
edify you. But that's just something that's very difficult to find nowadays. So, but I see what you're saying. I mean, even now that I'm also single myself, I can focus on my seminary work, my Bible study teaching, like doing this type of stuff. So I have a lot more time to work on my ministry and my walk because I don't have to worry about, I got to go see la novia and I va a
Yeah,
estar celosa, and I don't have to deal with all that. So that's the good side about being single and stuff. Okay. Um, were you involved in any like women's ministries at your church, female Bible study, or
yeah, we have Bible studies on right now. Bible studies at 5 a.m. in the morning every day.
5 a.m.
Um,
Oh,
yeah, 5 a.m. And also, I have I am gonna say, because I just joined as not a leader yet, but a member of a youth a young adults club. So we just me and my sister are committed to that as well. So we go every Tuesday and we just share and just read the word with our fellow people there.
yeah. And that's the thing, like we need people for the youth, because the youth right now is really, like, I have a 15-year-old. Oh man.
Yeah, I actually seen your post. I'm sorry about
I
that.
it's discouragement, but no excuses. He's wrong. But it goes back to the type of friends you have, the type of world we live in. No one cares about God. Everybody's selfish. Everybody cares about their own thing. I mean, sexually, morality is super high now with them. Drugs. I mean, it's just crazy. Like I think back, like when I was 15, it was nowhere near to how it is now. But these kids now are just trying to grow up too fast, and they're getting into crazy stuff. So it's unfortunate, but when I hear testimonies like these, it gives me hope that God can will save my daughter. I have two kids. My little one's a 10-year-old, but she's my little Bible scholar. She knows what's up. She's always reading her word. So, but it was different with her. The mistakes I made with my oldest, I'm not making with the little one. But the unfortunately, the oldest, it was my fault, her mom's fault. We were all just jacked up. We didn't have God.
Yeah,
We failed in many areas, and we're paying for it now. But we're still trying to show her the way. But again, at 15, who wants to read the Bible? They don't want to do all that. And I get
yeah,
it.
no,
It's just constant prayer. Because if you ever have a chance to watch my testimony, uh, man, if God can save someone like me, He can save anyone. So
yeah,
I have faith that God can save it. It might take some time, and she might have to learn the hard way, like me, where God has to really, you
pray
know,
not.
I hope not. And that's my prayer to, and I ask God, don't have her go through what I went through. But at the same time, if that's what it's gonna take, then
Yeah,
take her
then
through that fire like you did me and save her. But
oh,
but it's good to have people like yourselves that can minister to the youth to help them get out of that. I think we
yeah,
all of us have our different calling or different gifts. I'm more of a teacher type of thing. I don't think I could go to the youth. That I don't think that's a strength for me, but that may be yours. So you
yeah,
can use your experiences and your gifts to reach the youth. And that's what we really need. Trust me, right now, the youth don't care about Bible theology. They don't care about none of that. They want it, but people like you who've been through it can go and reach them, plant the seed, and then God can use other people to help them grow. So we have to all work together using our using our strengths for God's purpose and plan that He has for people. So I think that's a good thing if you can work with the youth, because the youth right now is really lost. They're really
yeah.
lost. They're so anti-God. It's pretty sad the world we live in right now with the kids. But God has His people that He uses with experiences like yours, and you guys are probably better off. You can connect better with them, and you guys can go, serve God in that way. And I think it's awesome. We need that. We all have to, like I said, work together with our gifts. So that's good. That's good to hear. Hopefully you guys can reach um kids out there, or young adults as you call it. So
You know,
that's good. That's good. That's good.
yeah.
How old is your daughter?
She's 3.
She's okay. Then you can do that. All right.
But I do want to see this, just in case there is young people, young adults, or even youth watching. Um, I always said that I would come back to the Lord after I turned 21. But before I turned 21, God allowed this to happen. So it's not always on your timing.
Oh,
Excuse me.
never
It's
on
not
our
always,
time. Never.
It's not always on your timing, it's on his timing. So if you guys are assuming, any young adults or youth that are, you guys think that, oh, well, I'm gonna wait for this age, or I'm gonna wait till I have a kid. No, don't do that, because you're only digging yourself in a hole. Because what God don't have planned for us, He'll allow it to happen, but there's gonna be consequences that are gonna come after that. Just like my case, where I had a kid unmarried, and now, I had to let somebody go that I really loved, but I had to obey God because He wasn't for me. We live two different lives. He's in the world, and
Oh man, that's part of my story as well. That was the
so
hardest thing. The hardest thing was to let go of someone that I loved with everything I had because they didn't want to serve God with me. That
yeah,
was
and I don't understand why,
hardest.
but
Even to now, like I don't regret it, but even now I'm like, Lord, why couldn't you have saved her like you did
yeah,
me? It hurt. And trust, man, I'm telling you, it was. I'm sure you can relate. It was one of the hardest decisions I had to make, and I suffered. I went through a 3-year depression after that.
oh wow, I'm
But
sorry to hear that.
that's what God used to get me to where I'm at now.
Yeah, that's
So
why He'll allow you to go through things
yeah,
to be for His glory. That little does the devil know that.
yeah.
Okay, go ahead, mess with her, mess with him, but I'm gonna use them to glorify myself. Yeah,
Y ese es el miedo that that's what I'm afraid for my daughter, that she's gonna have to learn the hard way like that. And as a parent, you don't want that for your kids, but that's the fear that I have, that my daughter's gonna have to go through some dark times, and maybe somehow one day she'll remember, oh, this is what the God that my dad was talking about. This is the God that I heard at church that I didn't want to be at. Um, but and the thing is too, like you're not promised tomorrow. You could die at the age of 15, 16, 17. You can die tonight. That's another thing. You can't say that, oh, I'm going to serve God when I'm 25, but you don't even know if you're going to even reach that age. My
exactly.
brother, my brother, my brother passed away at 33. He was a young guy. You know what I'm saying? So you're not promised to live a long life. You never know. Things happen, and especially when you're out there living in sin, which
Mhm.
sin has a lot of consequences. You don't know. You don't
Yeah,
know.
because the devil is coming to steal, kill, and destroy you. So in your sin, just like me, he's gonna try to kill and steal, obviously, your life and rob
Yeah.
you and stuff like that. So yeah, God is not gonna wait for you. He's gonna come on His time and move on His time, not on your time.
Yeah.
So people gotta realize that it's not. Why do you think all the rappers that are dying in their sin are dying? Is because I believe that God knows their heart and knows that they will never change. He don't give them a second chance. This is just what I believe. I don't like. I hope God doesn't offend anybody or anything like that. But people that die in their sin, I truly do believe that it's because God knows their heart and knows that they would never change. You know what I'm saying? Um, but I'm talking about like in killings and fightings and sin. You know that, not like being sick
Yeah.
and stuff.
Yeah. Like I said, ultimately sin has consequences. And a lot of the time, sin, and what I talk about, sin always leads to death. So that's why we die, because of sin. But yeah, I mean,
Yeah.
the lifestyle you live, it can quickly end your life. Um, okay, cool, cool, cool. Any final words? Any final encouragements for?
Yeah. I just want to encourage anybody that is watching this, that if you are sick, or if you have somebody sick in your life, don't ever doubt that God cannot move at the last minute. I had no. My mother was begging for God to bring me back to life, and it looked like there was no way, but there was a way because of Jesus and how He moves. You know what I'm saying? He can move
Yeah,
the mountains. He can move anything in His way. So if there's somebody on their deathbed, just pray life over them, because through Jesus and through your faith, they will be healed. So that's my final encouragement, and that's it. God bless you guys.
all right, cool. Thank you. I'm gonna upload this to my YouTube channel, and then I'll send you a copy, and you can do whatever you want with it.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Okay, thank
I'm gonna
you. I'll
post it
talk.
on the group thing. Okay. All right. Have a good night. All right. Thank you. All right. Bye.